Hi everyone, welcome to Thorough Newspaper Analysis. This video is for the 14th of May 2024. Now let's quickly proceed and have a look at the pointers of discussion for today. Today, please note, we'll not be having the editorial segment because we couldn't find a suitable editorial to cover. So we'll just be sticking to news updates and the legal news updates for the day. So without further ado, let's start with the news updates. First up is the category of national news. And here, first is this update. This is indeed a very welcome step, which is, kind of reflecting on the fact that we as society are heading in the right direction. Meghalaya, the state of Meghalaya, it gets its first woman police chief. Meghalaya is all set to get its first woman head of police with Idishisha Nongrang. Now, who is she? She's a 1992 batch IPS officer. She'll be appointed as the next DGP for the state. Nongrang, she's currently Meghalaya Director General for Civil Defense and Home Guard. Please mark, this is an important update. You may, make a mental note of the name of this person concerned. India will host a Bharat Parv at the 77th Cannes Film Festival. This is another very important update. Now, before we talk about Bharat Parv, the Indian Film Pavilion at the Cannes Festival, let's talk about this festival in itself. See, this is a film festival, as the name itself suggests, and it is the venue of it is generally in Paris, France, and this year it is scheduled from 14th of May to 25th of May. Now, what happens at this film at this festival? So, this is essentially a collaborative gathering of all stakeholders involved in the world of filmmaking, cinema, the art of filmmaking. They come together, they collaborate, there's screening of unpublished works. That is to say, let's say there is an unpublished film which is not released anywhere. So the film is screened if it has been shortlisted. And then there are several categories of awards which are given to several pieces of art, be it in the form of short film, the long feature film. So there are a couple of awards. The highest award at this festival is the Palme d'Or. Please make a note of this fact that so far, there are a couple of films which have been nominated from India for this particular category of award, but we have not gotten any this particular award for any film till date. Now, this year, we have another nomination for this category, which is called All We Imagine as Light. So this is an upcoming 2024 film, which is directed by Parv. The film, it is selected for competing with other films for the Palme d'Or honor at the Cannes Film Festival. And it is going to be premiered there on 23rd of May. So all we can hope and pray for is that this year we might secure this highest honor at the Cannes Film Festival. Now let's talk about the update in itself. So India is set to host a Bharat Parv at the 77th Cannes Film Festival for eminent dignitaries and delegates from across the world to showcase the range of variety of creativity that our country holds, the opportunity that we have in filmmaking. The purpose of the Bharat Parv, it is to provide an opportunity to Indian film industry to compete, to connect with the global celebrities, global filmmakers, directors, producers, those who are involved in the selling, purchasing of business of filmmaking. So this is going to be an opportunity to connect, to network. Bharat Parv, it will be organized by the National Film Development Corporation in collaboration with the Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. You may make a note of it. The event will be held at Bharat Pavilion at the Cannes Film Festival. The pavilion has been designed by the National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad. Now, this reminds me of another fact related to this film festival. Here, even a student, let's say somebody who's studying filmmaking, and he has made a film or a short film, as a project. Now, you are eligible to submit your entry. The only requirement is that it should not have been released or published earlier. So even a student is given an opportunity to showcase his or her talent at such a mega stage. Now, this is another important update. Yesterday also we covered some element of it. Aman Sehrawat, he has become the only male wrestler from our country who has qualified or secured a quota for the Paris Olympics 2024. Competing in the 57 kg freelance category, freestyle category, I'm sorry, Aman Sehrawat, he beat his Chinese counterpart, his Korean counterpart to seal India's 6th quota in the wrestling category for Paris Olympics 2024. So this person, which is Aman Sehrawat, he's the only male wrestler this year who has, secured a quota for our country at the Paris Olympics. He's the 6th person overall to do so, as far as the category of wrestling is concerned. Now, who are the other 5 wrestlers? Please note, all of them, they are women, and we covered this update yesterday also. Let's have a look at the names of these wrestlers, and let's just recap it. So first we have Antim Pangal, then Vinesh Fogart, Anshu Malik, Ritika Hudra, and Nisha Dahia. Please make a note of their names, and in the coming days when Paris Olympic will be starting in the month of July, we'll keep a tab on, how many medals are we able to secure. And Chandrasekaran is to chair Tata Electronic. Tata Sons chairman N. Chandrasekaran, he is all set to assume the role of chairman at Tata Electronics. He will succeed Banmali Agarwal, who has held the position for several years and has recently taken up on an advisory role within the group. Another important update, Arbitration Bar of India is inaugurated. The Arbitration Bar of India, an association for advancing the practice of alternate dispute resolution throughout India, it was officially inaugurated at a ceremony which was held at Bharat Mandapam in New Delhi. Arbitration, as we know, it is a procedure in which a dispute it is submitted by an agreement of the parties to one or more arbitrators who make a binding decision on the dispute. In choosing arbitration, the parties, they opt for a private dispute settlement procedure instead of going to the court. So this is a method of alternate dispute resolution out of court settlement. Nepal's mountaineer Rita Sherpa climbs Mount Everest for the 29th time. This is another important update. Nepali mountaineer Rita Sherpa has achieved a historic feat by conquering the highest peak, Mount Everest, for the 29th time. At the age of 54 years, Kami reached the 8,849 meters summit. This has brought us to the international segment for today, where first we have 2 updates. So we just have 2 updates in the international category for today. India and Oman, they're partnering to enhance research and conservation efforts on sharks and rays in the Arabian Sea, thereby focusing on elasmobranch research. See, elasmobranch, this is essentially a group. This is a term which represents a group of sharks, rays, scales, all of those. So what is happening here is that the country, both of these countries, they've now collaborated and they've decided that we're going to have a collaborative effort in our research on these marine species. So experts from India and Oman, they're going to convene at a workshop to discuss sharks, rays conservation efforts, leveraging their respective research experiences, including insights from both these countries. So both these countries are going to sit together. They're going to talk about what are the conservation methods that they've been exploring and employing so far. What has been their area of research, what has been their finding on the research front so far. So this is going to be a collaborative effort with the sole purpose of enhancing the conservation efforts when it comes to these species. Next up is another update which is important, and it is coming from Russia. The critic of the current president of Russia, Alexei Navalny, who is no longer with us because he died a couple of months back while he was serving a prison term. He's awarded the Dresden International Peace Prize posthumously, that is to say, following his death. The well-known Russian Kremlin critic, Alexei Navalny, he has been posthumously honored with the Dresden International Peace Prize. His widow, who is Yulia, she accepted the 10,000 euro award on his behalf, and this happened at the State Theatre in the capital of Saxony. A prominent opponent of Russian President Vladimir Putin, Alexei Navalny, he died under unexplained circumstances in a Serbian prison camp in the Arctic Circle on February. So if you remember, a couple of days back, we also did a story on how his wife has come to the forefront saying that, his death, it is unexplained. There is some malice involved there. And she's now standing strong and, facing the world on her own. And she's proactively voicing his husband's opposition. Now, this has brought us to the legal segment for today, where we just have one update from the Honorable High Court of Allahabad. Let's first see at the very outset the name of this particular matter. It is Akhtari Khatun versus State of UP and others. Now let's see what is the core of discussion in this case. Divorced daughter is not entitled to compassionate appointment unless divorce and dependency on father is proven. See, let's first talk about the concept of compassionate appointment. See, suppose there is a person, he is in government service and the person died while on service. Now, the dependents of this person, they are entitled to appointment, which is called the compassionate appointment. So, in your father's place, as in the place of the person who has died, his or her dependent, they are eligible to employment, but there are certain criteria and conditions that you have to fulfill. Now, here, what the Allahabad High Court has said is that unless a divorced daughter can establish that she was dependent on her father before his death, she would not be eligible to compassionate appointment post his death. So one factor that the divorced daughter has to establish is her dependency on her father before his death. Secondly, the court held that the divorced daughter must also prove the factum of divorce before the authorities while seeking this appointment. So you have to also establish the factum of divorce. So what are the two criteria to be established? The factum of death, and second being that you were dependent on your father before his death. The High Court observed in this respect, likewise, if on the date of demise of the employee in harness while on service, it can be shown that a married daughter is dependent upon him or his widow and minor family members could be taken care of by the married daughter if granted compassionate appointment, then it may be a case of considering the claim and judging the validity of the prohibitive rule. So from this entire update, for our purpose, what we just need to remember is this, that compassionate appointment can be given to a divorced daughter, but provided these two tests, these two factors that we just noted out, these are fulfilled and established. So this has brought us to an end of our TNA. Thank you so much for being with us, and I hope that it proves helpful for you for your exam purposes. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day ahead.